We had a good captain's run, clear messages, and there was a good energy around the place.
What's special about Keelan Doris?
I think he's a great ball player. He's got a good work rate, and he's still young, so there's a lot more to come from him, I'd say.
How do you feel about the shuffle and you going to six?
No, it's a place but I'm familiar with in this squad. It's not really a big switch for me. It's just really a number change, and I think my job there is to just make sure I get into space a little bit and work with the boys around me and give them an easier job.
What advice, CJ, have you been able to give Cale?
I actually met his dad in Sprout 7 months ago, and he told me his son's coming through, and we were joking. I was joking about it. He's going to take my spot, so I said to him, "Dan, just make sure what he does, he enjoys it, and he trains harder than anyone else. And again, if I talk to him before the game, just go out there and do what got him here and enjoy it, because it's Six Nations and it's special."
How much of a sense is there that there's a new page after Japan, and with Andy taking over, that this is a fresh start?
Yeah, I think we got Andy and a few new coaches and a few new players as well. So there is a bit of a change up, but I think we as a team know that we need to move on from that and step up from the World Cup and make sure we just go out there and enjoy ourselves and embrace the challenge and just play the way we can and the way we know.
In terms of what we can expect different to what we saw under Joe, what do you think that will be?
I think just play in space and use the ball a bit more, and I think use our energy around the pitch. Yeah.
Son, how does the change to the back row change duties? CJ's kind of just mentioned there. How do you see that?
No, it's. I think guys have to be pretty flexible. I think in the World Cup we saw guys moving around a little bit, Pete moved to 7 at times, and I think we have to have that flexibility both in the starting pack and the guys off the bench. So, like CJ said, Caelan comes in for a well-deserved start. We've reshuffled a little bit, but we have the added advantage of having the experience of Pete on the bench as well to cover across the back row. So, I think every team has to be adaptable, in particular in the back row, where guys are playing sometimes in a position they're unfamiliar with, but it doesn't change things too much.
There's obviously a player now in the line out on both sides of the ball. How do you compensate for that or adjust to that?
Yeah, like you say, Pete has world-class ability in the air, and there's not many better, but we have to be able to, again, just adapt with what the guys we're using. We have the ability to challenge. We're good on the floor, and making sure that we're not giving them the opportunity to put pressure on us. And I think that's something that our groups have been working really well with the new hookers coming in. It's been a good challenge for them, working with a few different guys, the callers and guys who have been lifted. And I think we're going to come up against a side tomorrow that will try and put a lot of pressure on us. They've got some good guys in the air. We have to be able to manage that, take the ball where we can. But we also have, I guess, the advantage of the experience off the bench in Dev and Peter. Tomorrow will be a bit mixed, so we'll have a little bit of a bit of a moving feast. It won't be just one person. We're going to make sure that we try and share the load, and the guys have, to be fair, the guys have been into changing since we come together, and I think you'll see hopefully tomorrow the return on some of the good work we've been doing. The lads have been on top of it. It's been impressive certainly from sort of the line-out group that have worked really hard together to come in and take some of the good stuff that they've worked on in the provinces and implementing some of that into what we've done over the last few days.
Under Gregor Townsend, Ireland has enjoyed real success against Scotland. They've made a lot of changes. Firstly, are you surprised by that? And secondly, what are you expecting from them?
I'm not surprised by their selection. I think they look strong. I think they will always offer you threats and make life difficult for yourself without the ball. I think they have plenty of quality. You look at what their 9 and 10 did the week before. They keep that combination going with Price and Hastings. They rip Sale apart, largely due to the way those two manage the game. And I think that to me suggests that they've gone with a few combinations. They've gone with the Edinburgh back row combination. Again, they'll be used to each other a little bit more and offer them a little bit of continuity. So I'm not surprised by the selection. I think it's a good team. We have to be, we have to make sure that we don't allow them to get into that type of running game, that free-flowing game that they're particularly good at. Make sure we pressurise them, and when we have the ball, hopefully we'll come up with a few things that they won't have seen and aren't expecting as well.
And with the start of this campaign, how much is it on bringing guys like Keelan Forrest, Matt Stegan in and developing new players in, and how much is it really about the long-term future building to 2023?
I think you have to. I guess it's a balance, isn't it? You have to work in the here and the now. Those guys are fully deserving of their selection into the squad, and we've tried to pick on form, and it's been difficult for us. Andy challenged them before we left camp in December. Go out and make it difficult not to pick us, not to pick you, and I think to a man that's been difficult for us to do, because it's been a hard task picking the back row in particular, picking the locks who are working really hard, and there's guys who we've left out, guys who are injured, who haven't been able to come into the equation. So yes, there's always going to be a thought of sort of down the line a little bit. Some of those development players have come in and acquitted themselves really well, but it's about here and the now. And those guys that are in the squad at the moment, they're in there for a reason, because they performed over the last couple of months.
CJ and Simon spoke about the younger guys in the squad, but for you guys, the more experienced guys, do you have a point to prove in the Six Nations?
Yeah, I think every player has a point to prove every game. That jersey is not yours. You get an opportunity to use it, and then it all starts over game day. So I think it's great to get the young boys in and pushing everyone with the experience. It just shows that there's good players to pick from, and that the group is getting bigger, and the squad is at a good place.
And Simon, you worked with Andy Farr, obviously while he was assistant coach. What's he like now as the head coach? Has he changed much?
No, just a good guy who wants to get the best out of his players, and I think that's what we all want. So no, Faz is still Faz.
Just a kind of related question on from what CJ just answered, Simon. Have you been heartened by the response of the players since the World Cup, and obviously what was a very disappointing game?
In respect to their performances and the promises, I mean, not unexpected though. They.
I suppose it's just with 2015 in mind, where there was a real drop-off after that Argentinian defeat.
No, I think the provinces are in a good place. They've been well coached, they've been well managed, and they obviously would have taken a little bit of time to reflect. But sometimes, as a player, that you need that little bit of space. But then when you're back in, there's no better place to be than get back playing again. As coaches, we've had a longer period to reflect, but for players, it's about trying to dust yourself off and try and put some of those wrongs right, which I think across the board they've been able to do. And guys who didn't travel with us to Japan have also stepped up and put their hands up, and I think that again shows in the selection of the squad.
Simon, last one. Have you been impressed with how Devin Toner has obviously bounced back since not been big for the World Cup, given he's going to come back and get back in the field tomorrow?
Yeah, Dev has he has a lot of experience. He's got a laid-back character, but he actually has a great hunger, I think, to perform and to perform in a green jersey. He showed himself up really well in the Leinster run, certainly in the period that we were away, and then on the return of the players in their European Cup run. He's in a great environment there, but he's in a really good place as well. He knows his strengths, and I think that across the board he offers the younger guys maybe a little bit of experience and a little bit of a calm head, but he's as hungry as ever.